Justin Ali with your Fox News update. Today we'll be looking at the causes of the French Revolution. First, we have liberalism. And when we look at liberalism, we need to look at the middle-class industrialists. These are the people who really want their political rights to be expanded. But the problem with that is that we're not going to expand their political rights. And as a result, they are seeking a change within our current political system. We also have the working class who are looking to get full employment as a result of the revolution. And they want this to be done through government-run factories in order to make sure that every worker in France is going to be employed. With Louis Philippe in power, many French citizens, although he's portrayed as a moderate, consider him to be upholding the values of the Congress of Vienna. This is seen because he mainly supports the aristocracy and not necessarily the industrial class. Louis Philippe abdicates the throne on February 24, 1848, and as a result, the National Assembly takes control. Now, in the National Assembly, there is a lot of feuding between the conservative small landowners and the liberal small landowners, and this leads to results where not too much is getting done within the National Assembly. So, they move to call a new National Assembly, where the members are determined based on a popular vote with universal male suffrage. After the election, the National Assembly was ruled by liberals, and despite the fact that they made several efforts for reform, they did not get much done. This is mainly as a result of the industrialists switching sides and siding with conservative military leaders. As a result, the time period is referred to as the June days, when despite their efforts, liberals do not get much done through the National Assembly. At this point, conservatives in the National Assembly want to be able to carry out their own programs. As a result, they call for a national election with the intention of electing a strong executive leader. At this point, it looks like General Louis Cavaignac is in the lead, as many intellectual conservatives are strongly supporting him. Now we go to reporter Cody Schultz talking to potential voters in the upcoming election.
I'm Cody Schultz, field reporter in Marseille. I'm here right now with factory owner Thomas Burke. Thomas, who are you planning on voting for in this election?
Well, I was pretty sure that I'm going to be voting for Cavaignac.
And why would you do that?
Well, I'm a big fan of his policies and his actions in the past, as putting down those liberals I don't like. Because, I feel like as a factory owner that he supports my interests, and I feel like in power he would help me.
All right.
Start going.
Thomas Burke was kind enough to let us in his factory and interview his workers on who they were going to vote for and why. Hi there, sir. Hi. What's your name?
I'm Michael.
Oh, nice to see you, Michael. Now, who are you going to be voting for in this election now that you have suffrage and you're able to vote?
I'm Napoleon fellow.
Louis Napoleon?
Louis Napoleon, yeah.
Oh, really? And why are you going to vote for him?
Oh, well, my grandfather fought for Napoleon. So, yeah, I like him.
Okay.
We respected the name in the household when I grew up. Yeah, and Louis, I like that. It's a strong, addition. Yeah, Louis, and so I really feel like he's my kind of guy.
Really?
He would represent me.
Do you feel like his political views align with yours very well?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mike. It's been great meeting you.
Certainly.
Wait, what happened there?
Well, pasta factories are a very dangerous place.
That's that.
We put up that motivational artwork to cut down on such subversive talk.
Well, I like Louis Napoleon. I will not have to put up with this crap anymore.
Well, that's not going to happen, because we intellectuals with our university education support Cavaignac.
Fox News is ready to call the election in favor of Cavaignac. What? No, wait, come back here. Who? How much of the vote did he get? Apparently, this guy named Louis Napoleon has won the election with 75% of the vote. We'll turn over to our opinion table to understand why this has happened and the long-term effects that it will have on France.
Thank you, Justin. I'm Cody Schultz, and I'm here with people with me, Michael Redlick and Thomas Burke. And we're here to discuss the results of the French election of 1848. Apparently, the winner has been Louis Napoleon, who won with 75% of the vote. Now, let's discuss this. Why is this the case? I'm
If
frankly at a loss for words.
I feel I'm not the same situation. If I had to say anything, I would say it's because the electorate is just so woefully unintelligent.
But usually that's not a problem. Why would you say this is a problem now? Is it, we elected universal male suffrage, didn't we?
Yeah, I'd like to go off on what Mike here is saying. With that handsome factory worker you were talking to earlier with the hammer for a hand made a great point.
He did mention something
I think
about
he truly represents the masses in this election.
But that's the thing. I don't think the candidate the masses have elected represents the masses that have elected him.
Louis Napoleon himself is a conservative. That doesn't make sense. Why is he gaining all
I think the problem is, in addition to our mostly illiterate populace, we've tried to have a campaign for an election in the series of a couple months. So none of the voters know who any of these candidates are.
Right, there's been no campaign.
I think the factory workers know as much as they're ever going to about the candidates.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
They're voting.
The two names, Louis and Napoleon, speak very highly, speak very clearly to these factory workers, and they will elect them again and again. The thing is, it's a strong tradition, this Napoleon in France. They remember better days, glory days for France.
May I respectfully disagree with you?
No.
Then I'm going to disrespectfully disagree with you.
1 second. We've just gotten news that Louis Napoleon actually planned on electing himself emperor of the French. What is going on here? Do you see long-term implications, or is this a short-term thing?
Emperor, president, I don't see a difference. I think it's just semantics at this point.
Really?
I agree. I think that the National Assembly really was planning to have a strong executive either way, and now that the illiterate voters have put into place someone who is conservative enough to follow through on that, I think that this is going to be a long-term effect with a greater conservative government.
So, what sort of political experience does Louis Napoleon actually have?
Well, it's important to keep in mind here, his last name is Napoleon, and his first name is Louis, and there have been 18 kings of France named Louis. Now
Number 17 does not count, and you know it.
Now, that is still a lot of political experience backing him up right now. He was clearly a more experienced candidate, and I think the masses knew that.
Does he actually have political experience? Has he held political office before?
Thank you for turning to me for the question that started with actually. Now, I think that the answer to that is an effective no. He has tried to acquire political experience, and in all of his past endeavors, he's really failed. Both the other times that he failed to take control of the government, and that the people didn't pay attention, because it was such a significant failure.
Now, really, Mike, you always remember, not only is there a first time for everything, this man has tremendous mass support behind him. He can truly work through this. 75% of the people voted for him. I mean, the masses truly want a Louis Napoleon president.
But do they, or is it just the only names that they know?
Does it make a difference? Yes.
But if he's emperor, does it matter now about the support of the people? That's the big question. Are the political masses and even the political elites going to have a say in French politics for the years to come, or is this the start of a new hereditary dynasty?
I don't think that people are going to have a say like that. And I think this is the start of a new dynasty like that. Because I think that the ignorance of the people that have led them to gravitate him just because of that name that you enjoy so much has led to them to elect a candidate who doesn't even represent their interests.
You could argue that. You could argue that.
That is what I am arguing.
But you still seem to forget the name Napoleon. I mean, do you remember Napoleon? Are you forgetting French history? It occurs to me that you're just leaving out big traces of history to serve your own political means. Napoleon...
I think that you are using your own... serving your own political means just by comparing the fact that this man has the same name. Napoleon was a great man, but this Napoleon is not the same. And I don't think that he can do anything as well as his uncle. Any kind of a political figure like his uncle was.
Are you kidding? Of course he is! Again, with the name, his name is Napoleon!
You are the dumbest person I've ever met!
Are you insane? He's going to change France and make it better, just like Napoleon did! Because he is Napoleon!
But he's not the same Napoleon!
Of course he is! It's the same name! How can it be a different person?
He has a different person, and he has a mustache!
It's
spent like, what, 20 years? He can grow a mustache if he wants. But the other Napoleon is dead. How do you grow a mustache if you're a dead person?
Guys. Y'all have Diet Coke. We can have a civil discourse. Alright? Okay. Alright. Back to you.
Thank you, Cody, Thomas, and Mike, for that interesting discussion about the future of France. We at Fox News, along with the rest of France and the international community, will be closely following the developments in France for the coming decade.